March 31st. We're seniors on soapboxes. SOS. I'm Ken.
I'm Elizabeth.
I've got 25 years of corporate real estate experience and 30 years of filmmaking to offer.
I've got almost 20 years in the military and decades in the corporate world, my background is.
And 10 years of making movies with me.
10 years making movies. Gosh, we're old. Seniors on soapboxes.
Well, seniors have really been attacked, using your military experience, which was psychological operations. They really did a number on the boomers, didn't they?
Yeah, there was a actual Psyop that was run called OK Boomer. It looked like that was really the core of it.
Operation OK Boomer, we called it.
Yeah. And it was a Psyop to convince basically everybody 40 and under that every problem in their life is because of the boomers. And if they could just get rid of us, who seem to be living so well, magically, and rich.
We're so rich. Oh, my God. And we have Social Security, which we paid into our whole lives.
And they're all
how
told,
dare we have that?
And they've all been told that there won't be any left for them. So there was a lot of resentment built deliberately in the consciousness.
That's because the Republicans stole a lot of money from Social Security.
And they want to keep doing it, so they're going to keep telling these stories so they can keep stealing.
And they'll keep up with their PSYOP to keep you cut off from senior wisdom. So this is not a podcast just for seniors. This is a podcast about some seniors, making their way through the world that are filmmakers.
Yeah. And, we certainly aren't living high on the hog here. We're just like most Americans. Apparently most of us are just, a paycheck or two away from possible disaster. So
well, we just got done hiring Darren Dean to work with me on doing a feng shui of one of our scripts that was valued at $300 million by Largo AI, and we're tuning it up for production. Mm-hmm. And so, we're laying out cash, and right in the middle of all this, Pups World War III.
Well, and it's all because of the Epstein Files cover-up.
That's it. You could call this not Operation Epic Fury, but Operation Epstein Fury, as Kyle Kalinske talks about in his show, and he's really a great guy to listen to. We get a lot out of listen to him.
We get a lot of what's really happening.
And what's his wife's name?
Oh, Crystal.
Yeah, she's great.
And they have
too.
the Crystal and Kyle show. It's K&K, Crystal and Kyle. And
kind of like our seniors on soapboxes. You can find us each individually, but this is our show that we do together.
We like them. Kyle has his own show where he doesn't take any advertising money at all. It's all listener supported. And then they have the Crystal and Kyle show as well. That's a pretty big deal.
It is the no bullshit, get your fury out kind of a show. We love it.
We love Jen Welch from the I've Had It show.
Yeah,
and her partner, I
really blossomed.
Can't remember her partner's name.
We're a little down on Adam Mockler right now because he's been very, let's call it,
misogynist.
Patriarchal. I mean, Elizabeth is a patriarchologist.
Yeah.
She taught me a lot about the patriarchy that I can't even see still to this day, probably. we were watching Colbert. We've got a show about that. Catch that one. It's in our stack here. I think it's episode 2. And this is our episode 4 here.
Yeah, I'm picking up on how the use of witchcraft and spells and terminology that's to denigrate feminists and to denigrate women's power and women's energies in a way to make them dangerous and sneaky and, the things that are okay to, burn them at the stake for. So
to hear that slip out of Colbert's mouth was shocking.
Yeah.
That was a great catch you made.
Colbert and Ed Norton, just signing on to, yeah, sure, that's PSYOP, it's witchcraft and a spell.
You wrote Colbert and suggested he retract and apologize. Did you get anything back yet?
I had a petition about it.
Yeah, you can find it here. We'll put a link to that down below.
From the guy.
Yeah, and it's
anyway,
amazing.
That's why we're down on Adam Mockler because we saw him this week too, and he's beating his chest about how he got to argue with MAGA people on CNN, but he put everybody's name in the description except for the host of the show, Casey Hunt. Like she didn't exist.
Yeah,
so
that's wrong.
I never mentioned her.
You're a bad little boy, Adam. I hope you hear this. You're a bad little boy.
So our updates today really are about...
He's 50 years younger than me.
Yeah, that's amazing. 23 years old.
So much knowledge.
And the kids already got United Talent booking them.
Yeah.
But anyway, we watched Wag the Dog this week.
Yes.
which was a real eye-opener.
We're making a video about that separately, yeah.
But the gist of it is, 1997, they're already making a movie about a fake war being created to cover up for a president who's pedoed on some little brownie that came into his office one day with a group.
Why does that sound so familiar?
And they create a fake war to cover from him because this happens 11 days before a re-election, and they just want to make sure that it doesn't, ruin his chances for a re-election as a pedophile president. So that was 1997. It's pretty much been out there.
Well, I think Trump is so detached from reality, and Hegseth, his religious Christian fanatic Department of Defense director, that he thinks he started a fake war because he thinks he can just end it anytime he wants.
Which is what he said this morning.
I can. When it's in my bones, I'm going to end that war. Well, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah,
you punch someone in the face, you're going to get a punch back.
He's under quite a bit of pressure because supposedly a UN official resigned 2 days ago in order to be a whistleblower and bring out the news that the UN is in plans to manage a nuclear bomb.
Good
so
Lord.
they are expecting the United States to bomb, or Israel to bomb Tehran or Isfahan or one of these major cities in Iran. And so this UN official resigned supposedly to be a whistleblower. And so that's 2 days ago.
I think we need someone from Europe with atom bombs to step up and say, you bomb Tehran, we are going to bomb an American city. It literally has to be made that simple for that fucking child in the White House. Because there's no consequences for him right now. He's just like, I got bombs. I'm going to go.
And here's the story of our modern time. Everything comes down to nuclear threat. That's the status.
Ever since Truman, yeah.
Because the current situation has allowed the world order of justice and some control and honor between nations and honoring of treaties is completely broken down under Trump because, depends on which way he farts, what he wants to do, and, who's whispering in his ear.
I love that fart thing we saw on Colbert last night with that flaming fart that was burning up the Constitution, the giant inflatable.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, my God.
And that happened this week, too. No Kings. This was at a No Kings protest.
We were there. And what we saw was a lot more people there, of course, but they were not just, you could see there were first-time MAGA people that were there. You could,
lots of them this time.
You could see them. They were very nervous and like, what the fuck am I doing here? It was kind of hilarious in a way.
Yeah.
But they were there. Thank God they were there.
It was a different energy this time.
I mean,
when we've gone before, it's been more joyous and festive. This was not festive. This was serious.
Yeah.
This was determined.
Yeah.
Certainty.
This is post Alex Preddy and Renee Good being murdered in the streets.
This was people saying, not in my country. Yeah. Fuck no. This
and
doesn't
when we
represent
went out there,
us.
I mean, we let our family know where we're going and that we might not be coming back. We don't give a fuck. We're out there.
But there was a No Kings protest where they had a giant blow up Trump baby with no diapers on. He had blown a hole out of his diaper in the back, and the fire flames coming out of his rear end were burning up a Constitution behind him. It was giant.
That's worthy of Michelangelo.
It took like 25 people to hold the thing up and walk down the road with it. It was so huge. It was hysterical.
But very appropriate.
But you see, I mean, when have we ever had a protest in this country that was it? This wasn't an anti-war protest. This was an anti-man protest. It was an anti-guy. One guy. That's stupid president.
That was what Colbert pointed out last night. Yeah, that was good. Of course, good old Stephen Colbert. We love him, and what we're going to do now for you, though. There's so much stress and so much tension. It's even getting to us. I mean, we hardly ever fight. We had a Donnybrook of an argument yesterday.
It was such a catharsis.
And I don't even know what the fuck started it. But, it was like World War III had visited our apartment. So don't ever feel like when you have a fight right now in these times that you shouldn't just like laugh it off and get over it, because that's what you should do.
Yeah.
And it was cathartic, and we loved each other through it. Nothing, there was nothing we said that we couldn't take back, and the there's never anything you can't take back. Everything can be forgiven. I had a crazy childhood with a dad that was like so hard to deal with, and the only way we got through it was like the next day we were like everybody forgave them, each other, and we moved on.
Mm-hmm. And
it's not a fun way to live, but
no, and we all have to take into account that on top of all of this stress in the collective consciousness, in push against all of our morals and our philosophy and our beliefs and honors and all these things that are being challenged, right? At the same time, our sun is just on a tear with all kinds of coronal mass ejections and these massive
I thought you were talking
flows.
about Jonathan, our son.
No, our
the sun.
The sun. Right?
Okay.
And at the same time, we've had so many bizarre comets come in the last year, and we are right now in the tail of 3I Atlas, which was that comet that had everyone thinking that we were going to have spaceships landing on Mars and they were going to invade Earth. I mean, the really crazy people were worried about it. But yeah, we have all this going on, we need to keep in mind that this week we have 4 astronauts going up for Artemis, and we got to keep our minds on them to keep them safe.
Let's do our product placement. We're learning that this is part of the new podcast thing. I used to just put stuff up and just put links down below, but right now in the middle of the podcast, I'm going to say, please visit coolesttechtever.com. Mm-hmm. We've got amazing products that we've gathered from some of the top alternative healing modalities in the world out there that you curated. Mm-hmm. It started with me with my work with Dr. Patrick Flanagan, whose company is amazing and struggling like a lot of small companies are right now. You want to get that technology while you still can, mm-hmm. frankly.
Yeah.
From all of our suppliers. We have EMF protection. We've got heart math.
One of the things that we've sought to do is to just reduce baseline inflammation. So a lot of our products do that. Blue Shield is the most important.
And the water filters we carry from Water Guru
we
do that.
We have water filters to make sure that you have really healthy, clean water that takes out everything you can get out of them.
But let's face it, the government is not exactly cool when it comes to how they're treating the water anymore. Water filters are more important than ever, honey.
Right. And so we have, our brand is about coherence, both internal and environmental. So we've got the internal meditation, and we have our heart math products. We love the M-Wave too. That's for internal coherence, so that you can keep your heart, mind, body, and meditation mindset to keep yourself more relaxed. But at the same time, you also have to have environmental support. So that's why you need your Blue Shield.
We could do a show on any one of these products. Just go over to coolesttechtever.com. And I'm going to turn it all over to Elizabeth now. She's going to lead us in a coherence meditation to help you cope with these crazy times that we're in right now. So Elizabeth, take it away.
Okay. So you just need to take a moment to find a spot where you can be still and relaxed and uninterrupted for a few moments, and begin to take some nice deep breaths. And you want to bring the breath in through the nose and give yourself a nice count of 4. Hold it for a count of 4, and then have a nice long exhale. And oftentimes it's really good to just make it an ah. So let's do that together. We'll inhale deeply for a count of 4. Hold it for a count of 4. And exhale with an ah. And go ahead and continue in that method of breathing until you feel a little bit more relaxed for a few moments. Inhaling for 4. Holding for 4. Nice big ah on the exhale. I have a beautiful bowl here. I'm going to play a little bit of a tone for you while you continue that breath work for a few moments. And say to yourself as you do this breath with each inhale, I am safe to update now.
I am safe to update now.
I'm safe to update now.
I am safe to update now.
Nice long breaths. I'm safe to update now.
I'm safe to update now. I'm safe to update now.
I'm safe to update now.
I'm safe to update now.
I'm safe to update now.
I'm safe to update now.
I'm safe to update now.
I'm safe to update now.
Gently tap opposite shoulders. Cross your arms and gently tap your opposite shoulders. Tap opposite inside of your elbows. Gently tap your wrists. Very gently tap above your eyebrows. Tap below your eyes on your cheeks. Tap at your jawbone. Tap your collarbone. And tap the heart space. Say to yourself, I'm safe to update now.
I'm safe to update now.
Continue your long, slow breaths. Choose one clear, emotionally neutral affirmation for yourself now. Something like, everything always works out in my favor with grace and ease.
Everything always works out in my favor with grace and ease.
I'm like a cat, I always land on my feet.
I'm like a cat, I always land on my feet.
Repeat that statement to yourself, your personal affirmation.
This is for your own right now, right?
Once per breath.
I can handle anything that one idiot tosses my way.
I'm so grateful that everything always works out in my favor with grace and ease.
Yes.
I'm so grateful that everything always works out in my favor with grace and ease.
I'm so grateful that everything always works out in my favor with grace and ease.
Now put your hand on your heart and broadcast that message.
Yeah, you can just sort of like fan your hand out.
I'm so grateful that everything always works out in my favor with grace and ease.
I'm so grateful everything works out in my favor with grace and ease.
With your hand on your heart, broadcast. I'm so grateful that everything always works out in my favor with grace and ease. This is automatic.
Effortless.
This is automatic. I'm so grateful that everything always works out in my favor with grace and ease. This is automatic.
You can sort of gently open your eyes. Take a few more deep breaths. Welcome back, and don't you feel so much better? All that Trumpy energy, poof, it's nothing. It's nothing. What do you get? Look at the big picture. Your higher self. You were doing meditations this morning about connecting to your higher self, and it's just wonderful to be in the same house with you when you do that. You're such a powerful meditator.
It feels so good.
Each of us are a little universe, and we're all connected to this consciousness. With every person who's ever lived has been on this world, including the goofball in the White House right now. Mm-hmm. And all the goofballs who work for him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And in the scope of the universe, we've all lived almost simultaneously throughout history. We've been here for such a short time. And we have still such a long way to go.
We're light beings, though. So shine your light.
Shine your light,
Yeah.
yes.
Shine your light. And, one of the ways that we try to keep our light shining is by laughter and jokes and seeing the satire, the silliness in all of us. And, one of the things that came up yesterday that I realized was, how a lot of times there's this, what is it called? Trump derangement syndrome or something like that.
Sure.
They accuse lots of people of having
It's
Trump.
a way of making fun of our anger about these terrible things we're doing.
Minimizing it.
It's
that
minimizing.
just, yeah.
You're just crazy.
And
You're a hysterical woman.
the idea came to me. I realized, a lot of the trouble that we're in right now is because the racists lost their minds. They had Obama derangement syndrome.
OBS. We should trademark that one. Because it's really what we've been going through since 2008.
They lost their minds when Obama won the first time. And, he made it to the midterms, and then they took every bit of power they could and spent the next 6 years trying to crush the movement, even though he was reelected, right? They tried to do everything they could to crush him. So whatever he accomplished, he was only able to accomplish in maybe the first 18 months.
Yeah.
That was it.
And it's ironic that the executive orders he used to finally work around the Congress that was stonewalling him on everything have
is how
been
these
weaponized against us. It came back to get us. Yeah. Sorry, Obama.
Yeah. And he used those because they had handicapped him in every way because they had Obama derangement syndrome. Well, Trump certainly did. Ever since that time that Obama, ever since the roast at the, what was it? It was some sort of a press dinner, right? It was a really important
The correspondence dinner in Washington, D.C., yeah. Hosted...
one of the big deals of the year, one of the big parties of the year where they roast people.
And Obama roasted Trump about what he was going to do if he ever got into the White House as far as fucking it up. And boy, isn't he doing it.
And Trump got Obama derangement syndrome. Yeah.
Oh, especially about the Nobel Peace Prize.
And about his birth certificate.
Yes.
Right, and a lot of things,
Yeah.
So we're actually
the guy with the immigrant wife, who was, reportedly a prostitute.
And a lot of the work that we do is around, vibration and around the vibration of your heart coherence and how do people, a lot of people are interested in, how do people really manifest this?
Well, we're gonna take this meditation that Elizabeth just did and put it onto Coolest Meditation Ever, and make it a separate thing. But we went to Washington, D.C. in 2017 for the inauguration as a protest, and we did meditations to shift that consciousness into just exactly what you said today. No matter how things might look, it's going to come out good in the end.
Yeah, but my point I was saying was that we believe that there's a way that you can make your own energy field vibrate, this heart-mind coherence, that can really change outcomes and things in your life, right?
In the world's life.
And the world. And that when big groups of people get together and have coherence in this way, heart-brain coherence around peace and joy and possibility and optimism and everything opposite of the fear, But one of the things that I've realized is that Trump has a powerful vibration. His heart-brain coherence is very strong.
Yes.
And that's how he's been able to create so much.
Even though his brain is weak.
Yeah, because there's a unique thing that happens with children, right? Children kind of get their belief in possibility and what is available to them kind of filtered out, and they realize, not much is, by the time they're 4 or 5 or 6, they're like, I'm just going to get what I can every way I can,
Every man for himself.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a little one, but when you're raised, when you're raised in a way that every time you have a little fit or something like that, you get your way. And you never have any consequences, and you never experience any of the pushback through those formative years, then you can develop an unnaturally strong heart-brain coherence that whatever you want happens because it's never been pushed back on. And so he's developed that.
So in a way, maybe these parents raise their child to be that way so that it develops that power. Yeah,
it could be.
Not even consciously.
Yeah, not consciously, but certainly to me, when I look at Trump, I look at someone who many times seems to act like a toddler.
He uses a lot of this secret
He uses the same toddler techniques, that a mommy would recognize to get his way. Especially in this culture where the cute little blonde-haired, blue-eyed boy is, or the blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl is the peak. The peak for exploitation and targeting is the blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl, but the peak for, delight and power and how cute and mischievous they are and what you can let them get away with, but they're so adorable.
My poor
as they're
grandmother
bullying.
comes to mind. I used to torture that lady. You know, and I was taught by my father, who was a real drill sergeant, for real, in the U.S. Army, fought in Korea, you know, to be this little Lord Fauntleroy around the house with the women. And that's been something that you have been helping me. It's a handicap, I think, in today's modern world. And Trump is like a dinosaur when it comes to that.
Mm-hmm. You were from the same era of men that created a lot of the monsters, but you got a strong enough religious imprint to fear wicked behavior that saved you from getting involved with a lot of the horrific stuff.
I mean, the women in my family, my mother, my aunt, my grandmother, they literally saved my life every day from an abusive father. And so I love women.
And you loved women.
I love women.
Yeah. They were protectors.
Sometimes I'm like, I can see in my past, you know, I love them on my own masculine patriarchal terms still. Mm-hmm. And so it's been more a lesson in learning how to love women for who they really are, not who I want them to be. And that's, you know, your beautiful strength shining through, baby.
Well, it's taken me a whole lifetime to get to this feeling about myself, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't really feel safe as a woman until I was in my mid-50s.
We have had big spiritual awakenings, both of us, and we've had a lot of past life memories of our relationships going all the way back to you know, the Native American days of this country. And that sounds amazing, but there is no doubt in my mind that that's real.
No.
But there's this veil of forgetfulness, you know, that what you were talking about in meditation today, that we're lifting now, and we can have more access to our wisdom, not just in this lifetimes from these old seniors here, but your past lives, where you have lived entire lifetimes as every race on Earth, as every creature on Earth, as far as I can tell.
And we're and you know, the actual by the actual elements of the earth that make up the earth are the same thing that make up our bodies and get recycled through us. So we've had everything, every part of this reality gone through our bodies. And my 65 years going on 66, my body's been made over many times through many elements, and I've lived all over the world.
And you've traveled all over the world.
So I know that sounds crazy, but that means that there's DNA and elements that have been in everything from all over the place in me, which makes my vibration uniquely different and my awareness different from those connections than a lot of other people.
Let's wrap it up. I just would say that, you know, listen to the meditation a couple of times. That was a really good one, Elizabeth. I really got so much out of that. I felt I didn't have any visions like I get at times because I'm an artist, you know, that does movies. I didn't have any visual images, but it was really a wonderful feeling, like something about when you said, you know, release that power out into the universe with the heart. I saw an eagle. I did see an eagle like fly out of
So you had
my
a
heart.
vision.
Yeah.
So the tapping, you know, is meant to help break the cycle or the patterns of old stuff that you want to release. So you do that tapping to help you break old blocks so that you can receive. That's why I say this is
Particularly
automatic
tapping over
now.
the eyebrows was the big one for me for some reason.
And I'm sure everybody will have a different experience, you know, of where, maybe which part of the body, but I think it makes a huge difference to get a little bit of tapping in there to get some somatic relief added to the affirmation.
So keep tapping and listen to the seniors in your life. I hope we've inspired you that there's a lot that they have to offer you, and you're being literally brainwashed not to take on that wisdom because they want you dumb and stupid. It's really that simple. I'm
It's
easy to
easier
manipulate.
to keep people in fear.
Yeah,
You know, knowledge breaks the fear,
yeah,
and
yeah.
we
Thank
want to
you.
help you get the knowledge you need so you don't live in fear.
Thank you for helping us get over fear today.
We want coherence, and we send our love out. Thank you
you.
for being here for Seniors on Soapboxes. This is Elizabeth, my husband Ken.
Yeah, signing off. Thanks.